The IQ versus EQ debate is decades old. The common belief is that your high IQ has a direct relationship with the circumstances that you go through in life. That is, you get paid well, are more healthy, and lead a successful life. The general rule is your IQ predicts success. Accordingly, if you can use logic or reason to answer questions, see things coming in life, or have a sharp memory, you're a clear winner. So, are we saying IQ is destiny? Hi, I'm Akanksha
and I'm Alicia, and in this video we are going to talk about, is EQ more important than IQ? But before we go ahead, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel Zero to Eternity for more videos on human psychology.
And press the bell icon to get alerts for our new videos. You can also go to our website www.zerotoeternity.com to subscribe to our newsletter, and you can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn or Twitter for all the latest updates.
Now, if you go by what psychologists and researchers say about intelligence, the general principle that IQ predicts your success is not true. High IQ is no guarantee of prosperity, prestige, and happiness in your life. Daniel Goleman, the internationally known psychologist, openly challenges this common belief of IQ predicting your success in his famous book, Emotional Intelligence. He says that IQ contributes just 20%, mind you, just 20% to the factors that determine your success in life. Which means what? Remaining 80% of the contribution to your success is made by some other factors.
This means that you need to have some other set of characteristics in order to be successful in life.
True.
These include number 1, persistence during times of struggle. Number 2, having the ability to control your impulses and delay gratification, which is very important. Number 3, controlling your mood. Number 4, not letting your worries hijack your ability to reason.
Doesn't happen.
Number 5, being able to motivate yourself. Number 6, that is very important for me. Number 6 is having the ability to empathize with other people. And last but not the least, being hopeful in life.
Unfortunately, despite psychologists saying it otherwise, IQ, SAT scores, grades still remain popular indicators of an individual's success. Top-notch companies and educational institutions across the world still test candidates only for their IQ and outrightly ignore the non-IQ factors like empathy, self-control, persistence, etc. So before we go ahead, let's first understand the difference between IQ and EQ. Emotional quotient, also known as emotional intelligence, is your ability to recognize, understand, and manage your own emotions as well as those of others. But it's just not restricted to that. You need to have certain skill sets in order to be emotionally intelligent. Daniel Goleman groups these skill sets into 4 different categories. Number 1 is self-awareness. It is the ability to recognize your feelings as they come. Individuals who are able to better understand their feelings are able to manage their life in a better way. They know how they feel about various personal decisions like their choice of a career path, their marriage, etc. Number 2 is self-management. Self-management includes the capacity to be able to calm yourself down, get rid of frustration, anxiety, anger, sadness, etc. in times of distress. You can also check our video on how to control anger in the links below. Now, those who lack the ability to manage their emotions have to continuously deal with feelings of distress. Whereas those who are able to manage their emotions well recover quickly from life's misfortunes, control their impulses, and are able to delay gratification. They achieve the state of flow and are better able to focus on anything they do and achieve outstanding performance. Number 3, social awareness. This includes empathy, that is, your capacity to understand the emotions of other people. To be able to empathize is an important social skill and it breeds altruism. People who are able to empathize with others understand what others need. Also, such individuals do really well in professions like sales, teaching, etc. Number 4, relationship management. This is another important EI skill. Individuals with such skill are good at managing relationships with others. This skill extends from empathy. Also, the ability to manage relationships is a common skill across people who are popular, good leaders, and have good interpersonal skills.
Now, this was EQ. What is IQ? IQ is a measure of your reasoning ability. That is, how well are you able to use logic and reason to answer questions and make predictions. Stanford Binet, one of the IQ tests, was developed to identify children who faced serious intellectual difficulties when in school. Now, this test measures a student's intelligence based on parameters like quantitative reasoning, logical reasoning, abstract or visual reasoning, and short-term memory. So, if IQ tests your ability to reason and predicts your success, then why this IQ versus EQ debate? Well, there have been times when even the brightest among us tend to behave irrationally despite having high IQs. We have seen people pulling triggers, abusing physically and verbally, and losing self-control. Such moments of irrationality among the smartest prove that high IQs do not say anything about the emotional lives of such people. That is, IQ does not reveal whether such individuals have the skill sets and the preparation to deal with the challenges of life. Now, psychologists are of the view that academic intelligence and high IQ at best tell you about an individual's achievement in terms of grades. People with high IQ might be happy, wealthy, well-paid as compared to people with low IQ. But this may not always be the case. Which means what? Apart from IQ, there are some other set of skills that you need in order to be successful in life. These are called as emotional intelligence skills, which at times are even more important than IQ. And what's the good news? The good news is that these emotional intelligence skills can be taught to your children in order to prepare them to take up the real life challenges. So let's have a look at two of the studies that were undertaken to understand why EQ matters. Lewis Terman, a professor of psychology at Stanford University, tested the IQ of around 250,000 students studying in California's elementary schools. 1,470 children had IQs more than 140 and ranged as high as 200. He named such a group of young geniuses as termites and tracked, tested, measured, and analyzed their achievements over life. Unfortunately, none of the termites turned out to be nationally known figures as Lewis expected them to be. They earned good incomes, but those were not extraordinary huge sums of money. Most of them pursued ordinary careers. Also, a good number of termites ended up in careers that even Lewis considered to be failures.
Likewise, Howard Gardner, a psychologist at Harvard School of Education, developed the theory of multiple intelligences as part of Project Spectrum.
Gardner emphasized that an individual possesses 8 or more types of intelligences. Each of these intelligences can be used by a person individually or corporately in order to create products and solve problems appropriate to the society. But traditional schools only focus on 2 of these intelligences, which are linguistic and logical mathematical. So, Gardner claimed that the greatest contribution to a child's development can be to help him choose a field that matches his talents rather than forcing him to follow the stereotypical path. Further, Gardner's theory signified that the tests taken in school evaluated only a limited set of persons' capabilities. So when Spectrum students were evaluated on the Stanford Binet IQ test, their scores did not provide any information in respect of their performance in areas covered by Project Spectrum.
So let's have a look at the skills that make you emotionally intelligent.
So people who are emotionally intelligent are better equipped to take charge of their life, recover quickly from life's setbacks, are more productive and effective, get into the state of flow, exercise self-control and delay gratification, motivate themselves, and do not let life's challenges weaken their thinking ability.
Emotional literacy is learning to handle your emotions in a way that improves your personal power and your quality of life. And most importantly, the quality of life of people around you. Emotional literacy helps your emotions to work for you rather than against you. More than poor math and reading grades, teachers today are more concerned about the growing emotional illiteracy in school-going children. They are of the view that the governments today are putting in more effort in raising the academic standards of educational institutions. However, not much is being done towards imparting emotional literacy in school children. So what price are modern day teenagers and adolescents paying for lack of emotional literacy?
Number 1. They are witnessing higher rates of anxiety and depression, all thanks to the increasing trend of nuclear families, individualism, and falling faith in religion. The result is a loss of support from extended families and communities which earlier helped people in coming out of failures and setbacks. Number 2. They are more prone to have eating disorders
like obsessing about their weight and what they eat, or binging followed by methods to avoid weight gain. This is found common in young girls who cannot distinguish between different feelings they go through and thus control them. This lack of awareness of their emotions makes them react negatively to minor setbacks of life. Thus, a lack of emotional awareness together with a negative reaction to minor difficulties leads them to be dissatisfied with their bodies. Number 3. There is an increased rate of school dropout in children who feel lonely and helpless. Children who are rejected by their fellow mates feel socially incompetent. These social rejects are poor in reading social and emotional signals. So even if they understand the emotional signals, they may not respond in a way that may make others feel good or want to be with them. Number 4. Those emotionally distressed have increased chances of getting addicted to drugs and alcohol. Consuming alcohol and drugs is taken as self-medication to soothe anxiety, depression, and feeling of melancholy.
So, that was all about EQ versus IQ and why EQ matters. If you found this video useful, hit a like and subscribe to our YouTube channel 0 to Eternity for more such videos. And don't forget to pose your questions about how you can build on emotional intelligence in the comments below. We would love to hear from you. We've also given below the links to the articles that would help you to manage your emotions. So hit the bell icon to get the latest updates for our new videos. And you can also go to our website www.zerotoeternity.com to subscribe to our newsletter to get all the latest articles right in your inbox. So that's for today, and stay tuned for our next set of videos.